What's up, YouTube? Today we're going to be looking at the Color Cup once again, and I've got a very special spicy Pokemon for you. The Pokemon actually itself isn't all that spicy, but the moveset that we're running is. We are running Shadow Typhlosion, but we're running it with a double anti-water moveset. So we've got Thunder Punch and Solar Beam. A lot of people have no idea that Typhlosion can learn Solar Beam, and those that do may not respect it in this meta. So, even though it paces very slowly, if it doesn't grab a shield, it's gonna KO a water type, and that's just kind of how it is. Besides Toxapex, but in that matchup, you're just gonna go straight Thunder Punch to flip switch. That being said, with a shield advantage, look at this. You flip Gastrodon and Whiscash. Obviously, you're giving up super effective coverage against Hisuian Electrode, but I haven't seen too many of those, so I thought this was a worthy trade-off, especially when Gastrodon is absolutely everywhere. So without further ado, let's just hop right into the matches. So we're running Shadow Quagsire on the lead and Talonflame in the back in kind of an ABB style team. And we've got a mirror lead in the first match with a Quagsire of their own. Theirs is non-Shadow, however. So we're just going for the Aqua Tail because we want to see who wins CMP in this matchup. And we also don't know if they're on Aqua Tail or Mud Bomb. And they reveal they're actually on Mud Bomb. So that does mean we'll be able to outpace by one turn. Depending on what they do. They do no shield both, but at this point I'm thinking I can shield and fully farm down, and I kind of need to keep my Quagsire alive just because it's an ABB style team, and there is the Talonflame, and so the great pacing of Thunder Punch, it just takes 2 Incinerates to get there, just 10 turns total, and we do grab the shield, and then they come in with Marowak. So we're farming up, going for the Thunder Punch on good timing. This will do some solid damage, but it won't KO. It puts them deep into the red, so they are actually forced to throw their energy. And at this point, we can probably just come in Quagsire. Oh no, we're going to come in Talonflame, get an energy lead. That's right, because we do have a move loaded on the Quagsire. If we need it, Shadow Bone. Not enough to KO. And so at this point, we just got to full send the Brave Bird. We should have full sent the Brave Bird to grab that last shield, but they use the shield anyways. So we have the Stone Edge loaded, so we are able to take a very easy win that first match. But didn't get to see any beams yet. But here we go, jump off on the lead. This is a terrible lead. We're going to switch right into Typhlosion. They know we're at 4, so they have to let one Thunder Punch go, right? Unless they're going to double shield their Kingdra, so they might no shield the first, and boom! Solar Beam the Kingdra. They have no idea what to do. They end up coming back in with a Jump Pluff. We also are able to make it to a Thunder Punch here, which is huge. And they respect it as if it's a Blast Burn. One more Incinerate. So now we got their Jump Pluff at 50% HP. We flip switch. We come in with Talonflame. It is a Toxapex in the back, so we may as well get off this Brave Bird for either chip or the last shield, and then just come in with our Quagsire now that we've flipped switch, and my opponent concedes the match, and we're able to take that game. So first beam of the video. Into the next match, we've got a Charjabug. I remember misplaying this. You should stay in the lead a little bit. Oh, actually, that's a decent play. Catching the X Scissor, because that is resisted damage. And then they come in with Stunfisk. So unfortunately, they are going to outpace me here. But I may as well go one and the move to the Solar Beam. At least grab that shield back or flip switch. See what we're able to do here. They do respect it, because even a Blast Burn would probably KO from that range. And they farm up. Good overfarm by my opponent. They're going to KO with a Mud Bomb here. We just kind of have to come back in with Quagsire. We get one turn switch, so they get a free move off, because that would have been CMP, which is unfortunate. But now that means we can overfarm. I'm going to take this out now with an Aqua Tail before they make it to their next move. They shield, and then they come in with their Charjabug. So that's kind of interesting, because now I can just KO this with a Stone Edge. And what is that Pokemon in the back? Are they going to show me? No, they're going to come back in with the Stunfisk. So maybe really weak to the Quagsire in the back. Not really sure. I'm going to throw before they get off another move. I kind of had lost track of their counts at this point. And it is a Morpeko in the back. So they are very weak to the Quagsire. But we were able to get off the Aqua Tail. Going for a catch there unsuccessfully. But this does force them to throw their energy, and they are in one Mudshot range, and they are not at back-to-back moves. So even if they had Seed Bomb or Wheel or whatever, it would not KO from that range. Okay, terrible lead in the next match. Ferrothorn switching into the Typhlosion, and we bait out a Toxapex. So this is a matchup where you kind of just go straight Thunder Punch. Thunder Punch is super effective, whereas Solar Beam is neutral. And even though this video is about landing beams, we can still flip this in the ones, which is pretty nice. Typhlosion really just super strong in this meta. I obviously didn't want to build one of my good IV ones for this. I had a Shadow lying around that had just 11 attack. I was like, whatever. But here we are making a back-to-back moves. If they want to keep switch, they're going to have to double shield, and they don't. And they have more Peko in the back. So that's actually a pretty decent play, because even flipping switch, if they're running Seed Bomb here, I'm pretty much just lose the game. But it is just an Aura Wheel. We did get one turn switch, so they're going to be not quite as low. But we do get to the Aqua Tail. This will grab the last shield or take them out. We do grab the last shield. They throw right away, which is great. At this point, I'm just going to come in and with Talonflame and fully farm them down. And we are unable to get the move off, but one Incinerate, that will KO. And at this point, we've got an energy lead, and they've got no move loaded, and it's against a Ferrothorn on the lead, so my opponent just concedes the match there. Okay, great lead. Alolan Golem, they get out into Among Us, and this is a matchup where I pretty much just go for the full Incinerate farm down just to come out with a Solar Beam loaded, because there's a very good chance my opponent is not going to expect super effective Solar Beam when they normally wall both Blast Burn and Thunder Punch. So let's see what my opponent does. They do come back in with the Golem. We're going to go straight for the Solar Beam. And it lands. Instant KO. They've jumped off in the back. And that is games. That is the Solar Beam tech right there. Okay, terrible lead in the next match. We're going to come in with Typhlosion. What are we going to bait out? We bait out an Alolan Golem. Can we do it back-to-back games? This would be incredible. Normally, Blast Burn and Thunder Punch are walled here, so they let it go, and we flip switch. They get the farm down, but now we have our Talonflame on this Among Us. We can come in with our Talonflame right away. And we can let one go here. Will not KO. Yeah, it doesn't even get us into the yellow yet. Morpeko comes in. We've got a Brave Bird loaded. This is a huge chip, and it does get the KO there. And now we've just got our Quagsire against their Among Us. I'm just throwing Aqua Tails here because they're low, and I'm just putting them in Incinerate farm down range. I didn't think my opponent was going to throw. That's why I wasn't throwing it. I was just going for the full Mudshot farm down. But they do. They throw, and now we get the full Mudshot farm down. And both of us have 2 shields remaining to end that game. Okay, Talonflame. This is a good lead. And they get out into Charizard, which is not much better for them. But they do outpace. This can only be a Dragon Claw, but I will respect it because the Dragon Breaths are adding up. And I'm going to farm up here. And at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? Shadow Charizard's really glassy. I'm just going to go for Aqua Tails here. And we grab one shield. We're going to go for grabbing another. And if they do not throw, I will make it to a third. And they do. They throw on really good timing, actually. And so at this point, I just kind of have to be wary of a catch. I throw one on the move, which is one of the most obvious ways to catch, but we get off the Aqua Tail. And then I probably have to switch right into my Typhlosion so that I can outpace this Talonflame. I wait the turn, making sure they don't catch. Somehow they caught anyways. The game just did not visually update. But either way, they come in with Ferrothorn. They're going to get fully Incinerate farm down. This is is probably only a Power Whip or a Mirror Shot, so we can survive this pretty comfortably. Puts us deep into the red, but we do leave with a Thunder Punch loaded, and that puts them deep into the red. One more Incinerate, puts them at 1 HP. We don't even have to show them our third Pokemon. We come in with a Quagsire, Mud Shot down, a Flying type, and we're able to take the game. Toxapex in the lead, so this is a good lead, and they come in with Decidueye. So same kind of deal. I'm going to come in with Typhlosion, shield once, go for the full Incinerate farm down. There's no way they can really flip switch here. Just get the full farm down, and then they're going to come back in with that Toxapex. So we're just going to go for the Thunder Punch right away. This will do some decent chip, and we can make it to yet another Thunder Punch. Also throwing in good timing, which is great. This Thunder Punch will put them pretty low. Yeah, it puts them deep into the red. So at this point, I can just come in with Quagsire, get some Mud Shots. I got one turn switch again. This is just an every game thing now, which is just lovely. They got off a Brine. I predict the instant swap, and we're able to outpace, or not outpace, but get to the fly on the CMP, which is actually how the game should have worked, because had I got CMP there, I would have been able to switch out right away, but I didn't, so I'm not sure why I was able to switch out right away. But just going for the full farm down at this point, they've got 2 shields. There's no point in really throwing a move there. Unless I thought they were in 1 HP, but they full send the Brave Bird. That was kind of their only win con, and they're going to have 2 shields and lose the game because everything's getting Incinerate farm down. Marowak, this is a great lead for us, and they're staying in, which is kind of crazy, so they might have a Toxapex in the back. So we are going to farm up to the Stone Edge, but then bait with the Aqua Tail. They do call the bait, maybe hoping that I also no shield back, but I am reading that they are very weak to this, so I'm going to shield right back, go for the full farm down, and then instant swap on a Typhlosion. Yep, there's the Ferrothorn, and it is a Typhlosion of their own, so unfortunately we are always going to be 1 turn ahead for my opponent, which is great for me. And then they go and throw on CMP, which is just awful for them. So now we can just let this go. And even though there are back-to-back Thunder Punches, that does not really matter here because we've got Quagsire. And looks like we got 1 turn switch, so I just was going to be safe and go for 1 in the move. That KOs, and now we have a Talonflame for the Ferrothorn in the back. And that is an easy win there. Double Fire was honestly surprisingly strong in this meta. But here we go. So we've got a Gastrodon in the lead for this match. So we're going to farm up, go for an Aqua Tail, and then I wouldn't be surprised if I go for an Earth Power catch on Talonflame, and I do, and I get the full Incinerate Sneak. So that's absolutely huge. And we catch the Earth Power. Good thing they're not running Water Pulse because that wouldn't have been a great catch. And we're just going to go for we're going to full send the Brave Bird here because Brave Bird will do decent chip. And my opponent will be still forced to throw a move. I'm still able to outpace and make it to another fly. So now we're going to put this Toxapex real deep or grab a shield. We do grab a shield, so that's actually great. Because now we can just come in with Quagsire. We can take any one Brine here. And we do. And they're actually at back-to-back Brines. I'm still going to let this go. And then I'm instant switching Typhlosion, expecting a switch from my opponent, so that was a good read. They come in with a Charge-a-Bug, and they went straight discharge. They did not bait, so that's great, because now that means I can make it to get the full farm down. They come back in with a Gastrodon. We are going for our only win con, full sending the Solar Beam, and it KOs. And now we can get to a Thunder Punch on the Toxapex. It wasn't our only win con, but it was some nice BM to be able to Solar Beam a Gastrodon on the lead there. And we had a Thunder Punch loaded, but I thought the switch timer was up, so I was just switching out into my Quagsire, and we were able to get the Aqua Tail to KO and win that game. Okay, last match of the video, I believe we've got a Decidueye. So obviously we're going to safe switch into the Typhlosion here. And we bait out a Toxapex, so that is okay. We've got the super effective Thunder Punch coverage from a Shadow Typhlosion. That does almost about 50% of their HP, and we outpace to a second Thunder Punch before they even make it to their first brine, so that's huge. And they let it go. So now at this point, they're in Incinerate farm down range. So I'm going to commit the shield and flip switch. And then I'm going to go for one more Incinerate probably before I throw, because I want them to think that this is a Blast Burn. And I want to grab the shield. And we do, so that's absolutely huge. And now we've got our Talonflame aligned on this Decidueye. This is probably only a Spirit Shackle, so we are more than comfortable letting this go. And it's a Mantine in the back. So we're going to full send the Brave Bird here. Either grab that shield or do massive damage. And we grab the shield, and that's okay because we have super effective coverage with our Quagsire. I can let this go. I can survive any one move here. And it is the Water Pulse. That does some decent chip, but now we are able to make it to the Stone Edge. This will just about put them in Aqua Tail range, so they're going to be forced to throw their energy. And they do. At this point, I can just Incinerate farm them down, so I am just going to let this go. Go for the Incinerate farm down. If they make it to another move, I just shield this up. So perfectly fine. And then they're in one Incinerate farm down range on the Decidueye, but we also come out with a Fly loaded, so may as well get the KO with the Fly, and we're able to take that game. So yeah, that was Shadow Typhlosion with Solar Beam. Obviously, as we discussed, the pacing isn't great, but it's honestly not that bad either. A lot of people, when you farm up to 4, they are expecting, oh, back-to-back Thunder Punch, I have to live 1 kind of deal, so they won't shield the first. And that's when Solar Beam really comes in clutch. And you saw it, we got it on 2 Alolan Golems, which normally wall our moveset, and on a Gastrodon, which walls our moveset. So that is the flexibility of Typhlosion. And I think on the safe swap, that's where it really shines. And no one's expecting this moveset, so you have the surprise factor. And it's just got really cool coverage. I mean, it's coverage into like its only weaknesses in this meta. So really super strong. Great moveset as a safe swap. Able to flip switch loads of times or grab shields, and that's what Talonflame and Quagsire need. I mean, this is a glassy team pretty much across the board. But we have a lot of big booms. I mean, we've got Solar Beam, we've got Brave Bird, and when you've got these Incinerates adding up and just Aqua Tail is chipping, I mean, that's why so many matches ended with my opponent having 2 shields remaining. But that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Solar Beam Typhlosion absolutely destroyed the meta, the Color Cup today in the meta, so that was awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, peace.